Buddy, happy Halloween. I'm just going to take a quick sip and then we're going to get started. Ugh. Okay. I'm actually, I almost, we're going to get started. I just want to do this greeting. Okay. So here we are. It is episode 302. And it is Halloween 2024. And there's a whole lot of costumes wearing and role playing and crazy stuff going on. However, there is also the fun of the season. There is also the opportunity of a turning of the page. And a lot of people are having so much fun today if they know young ones, if they know old ones, if they know themselves on the inside and out, that it's fun to dress up. It's fun to have spooky parties. It's great to have a colorful reason to get together. And sometimes we need that. And the reason I want to talk about this today, the way I want to talk about it, is partly because of this crazy project that is blowing out of proportion in front of us right now. And it's so exciting and it's so beautiful. And I really promise you, I'm going to stop doing this hinting very soon. The thing is, one of my longtime favorite expressions is very old, and it's this: everywhere you go, there you are. And what it means to me, to a lot of people, is that you can run, but you can't hide. You can get on the cruise, you can get on the trip, you can sell the house and buy the RV and drive off into Never Land. The thing is, you're always there. You're always with you. And the going away doesn't take away the baggage. The baggage is what we bring without even realizing. So, in the question, Seth Godin this morning, he said it takes more than a clown costume to understand what it means to be a clown. It takes more than a hat to be a cowboy. We can put on the costume, we can wear the trappings. What it takes to change us, to shift us into something more representative of the magic that we are, it takes some work. It takes some looking at. It takes some saying, well, I can't have both, so you know what? I'll get rid of that. And don't go back and get it. I saw you moving. When you go to the landfill, you must not come home with more than you brought. That's the rule. Even if it's somebody else's treasure, you cannot do it. So why we are doing the things we're doing today are harmless distractions. The video games that we're playing, the collectibles we're collecting, the heroes and heroines that we are emulating in our cosplays, the decisions we're making to say, I've played here and closed it. I'm done. I have wrung from this every drop of magic there is, and now I'm moving on. Okay. The thing is, though, we're coming with. We are the person we're bringing with. Whatever we are hoping to fix doesn't fix itself. Things don't change. People change things. It's another Abby thing. So I've had four conversations actually, in the last couple of days, all of them talking about this same thing. All of them saying, all the effort, all the focus, all the ideas, all the planning, all the nudging, one little block and another little block forward, is suddenly we're seeing something coming into focus. We are seeing something emerging, and we're all saying, oh, perfect. Well, good morning. Good morning, Matthew. Good morning, Daniel. Yes. Happy Halloween, TV Mom. Are you wearing clean, spooky underwear? I think We had Halloween episodes, and Dad was always dressed in the most extraordinarily odd things. Mom was never. Mom, Mom was already dressed in an extraordinarily odd thing, or maybe it was Abby. What we are looking at right now is the hunger for a quick fix. If if I buy this hat, if I buy those shoes, I will feel more like me, is the thought that's going on in the head. And by the way, you know what? You know what? I'm going to admit it. So on the shelf in front of, how do I do this? Other way. I'll just point properly, right? On the shelf in front of, below the on air sign. There it is. There it is. Below the on air sign. There's a pair of candies. I found them on eBay. I used to wear candies all the time. Somebody said, "Oh my God, you remember candies?" And I thought, I wonder if there are any still in existence. And lo, and high. Not only was there a pair in existence, not only were they affordable, not only were they brand new, they were my size and they were black. It's a sign. Those shoes are definitely, without any question whatsoever, a throwback for me. I look at those, and when I was talking to Dewey and I said, I don't understand collectors and collectibles. And he said, really? I'll give you a moment. Would you like to turn around? I said, I'm not collecting those. They're stage props. He said, of course they are. Of course they are. So what we are doing to bring ourselves up, what we are doing to build ourselves up, what we are doing to refresh and reset and re-energize ourselves, is we are looking for the familiar, tangible, nostalgic moments that for us are unforgettable. And this is what we're calling them, the unforgettables. It's all of it. And when we put on, I posted the other day that every Halloween, when I was a little girl, when I was a very small girl, my parents always dressed me as a little bunny rabbit because I looked like a little bunny rabbit. And then later on, my first full-time job was at Playboy magazine, not as a bunny. However, the synchronicity, the universe was being very cute, I thought, that year. What we dive into in order to swim away from is going to be waiting for us when we get back. I'm not suggesting that we don't dive in and swim away. I'm not suggesting that we don't pause and do a reset and take our 30-second 5-finger break and breathe. I'm not suggesting that we don't give ourselves distance and time, those 5 essential steps back to look at the larger picture and say, oh God, how long is that dress looks that awful on me? We need to do that because we must be aware that we are coming back. And what we need to bring when we come. Well, good morning, Freddie. Happy Halloween. Good morning, Lyle. What we are bringing when we come back is a refreshed us, is an us that got the chance to step away from the swirl, got to step out of the path of the Tasmanian devil. And when he's gone, carry on with what we were doing. We need those stepaways. We need those, let's take a moment, let's choose us. We all need them. The point is, what are we doing with them? Are we hoping that by surrounding ourselves with all the collectibles ever created in the decades of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, that our troubles will all be over? Are we thinking that by collecting them, we will have so much stuff, nobody can move us? Because I'll tell you, if a hurricane's coming, the hurricane can move you just fine. Are we putting so many things in our path that we give away our power to choose when opportunity knocks? Hello, is anybody there? And the conversations that I've been having with Dewey Sean for the last 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks, incredible. The conversations that I've been having with him saying, when your career path, you say to your career path, we're going to take this up a notch. We're going to go here and see what happens and keep going. And we're going to go maybe here and see what happens and keep going. When you do that, when you make that plan and you say, and this is how I'm going to do it, and then you stay with it and you are consistent and you made the promise to your decision, you made the promise to yourself, and you made the promise to your people, and you stick with it, you achieve what you wanted. Success is the result of consistent action repeated over time. If you want to be very overweight and very unwell, all you need to do is eat 5 Twinkies or 5 Ho-Hos or 5 whatevers every day for a year, and your wish will be granted. If you want to lose weight, all you have to do is stop eating those 5 whatevers every day and maybe get some fresh air, and your wish will be granted. Consistent action repeated over time. If we consistently stall, if we consistently run away, if we consistently distract, we never move forward. We allow ourselves to get caught up in the fantasy. We allow ourselves to play with a spinner to calm ourselves down and remove the anxious, swirling anxiety cycle of thoughts. But when we put the spinner down, if we haven't done our internal homework, we're going to be right back in the middle of the swirl. So everywhere you go, there you are. The idea today is that when you're going to put on the costume and you're going to go and have a lovely time, what is it you want to take away other than the candy that your hosts may or may not have eaten most of already? What is it that you're going to take away? Are you going to realize and recognize that there is something intrinsically very, very large, very important, very comforting, very delicious about being silly, about stepping away from all of the seriousness, all of the responsibilities, and just having a silly time? It's very healing. If we realize that it's very healing, then we can make a note that we need to do it again. We don't need to wait for an occasion. We can bump into somebody in the lobby. We can see somebody at a crosswalk. I had the most interesting thing happen yesterday. I was on my way to have lunch with my wonderful friend Suzette, and I parked in an indoor garage. And when I got to the door to take the elevator down, there was a maintenance guy, older fellow, little chunky, and he had 11,000-foot extension ladder under one arm, and he had a bucket and a poke, something to poke, and a large roller in the other, and he was using the one leg of the ladder to push the handicap button so the door would open so he could. Can you see the picture? And I said, stop, because it wasn't working. And I said, stop, I will help you. And he said, I'm fine. And he kept pushing and pushing and nothing happened. So I came over and I said, listen, I'm right here and I have to go down too. May I please? So I pushed the button and it opened. And I kept the door open and he had to navigate this ladder. And I pushed the elevator and held it because he had to navigate in and up. And then all the other stuff. And it was large and loud and filthy and clumsy. And he got in and I said, ground floor? And he said, yes. And we got out and I held the door while he was able to get up. And I held the other door while he was able to get out. And he said, you are my guardian angel today. You are my good luck fairy today. And I said, well, thank you. Thank you very much. I was going that way anyway. And he said, no, many people would not have done. Where are you going? And I said, I'm going to have lunch with a wonderful friend. And he said, you will have a wonderful lunch and you will have the best table. And I said, thank you. And he said, a favor for a favor. And I went to the restaurant, and sure enough, while it was quite busy, the best table was there. And they said, is here okay? And I thought, yeah, here's perfect. And then we had a wonderful lunch. And she had not been in a long time. And I said, try this. And she did, and she loved it. And we had this amazing conversation that was important. It was important to this project. And we talked and we laughed, and it was hours and hours, but I learned a couple of very important things. So what I took away from that day was I didn't get lost in my own head. I stayed present. I noticed someone in need. I didn't put on the fairy wings and race back to my car to get my wand. I just became the fairy he needed. I was the fairy he needed in that moment. And he, in turn, became my guardian angel. And I got the table I wanted. And sometimes that's how it works. Sometimes if we are present in the moment, that's how it works. It's that simple. Instead of being lost in our own thoughts and ignoring, if we are aware and we take care of each other, that's how it works. So everywhere you go, there you are. This weekend, I'm working with my tech genius who has an ongoing challenge with technology to figure out the ins and outs of this website that we're creating, that we've only been working on for like a week, unbelievably. We are putting together the details that are necessary because Dewey is off to do 3 events this weekend, 5 events. And he's got the opportunity at these events to say, I want to show you what I'm working on. I want to show you how interesting this is. So we had a long conversation last night. Gary and I had a long conversation the night before. Suzette and I, long conversation yesterday. Dave, a long conversation technology-wise. And what each of us is doing is nudging the little pieces of the puzzle forward, keeping everything balanced so we can get to where we want to be. So that everywhere we go, there we are. Everywhere we want the outcome to magically appear, we have put the pieces in place and we have made it possible for them to all be there, even if in beta test mode. You know, with all the conversations and all the planning and all the what ifs and can you imagines that have been going on for the last 3 weeks. For the first time ever, me building a team, because it's going to grow. It already is growing. What we all need in the looking at, everywhere we push this, there we are. And the huge takeaway from my lunch yesterday with Suzette was that an open pit disaster was staring me in the face, and I hadn't noticed it. And we were not talking about that disaster. We were talking about the cautionary steps at this point to make sure that we have the right professionals guiding our decisions right now. Do we have the right legal advice? Do we have the right financial advice? Do we have the right strategic advice? Who are the people we are reaching out to? Everywhere we go, did we get the oil changed on the car? Did we check the tire pressure? Have we made sure that everything is buttoned down under the hood? Did we pack a suitcase? Did we put it in the trunk? Every strategic step that you make to head off on your adventure, we have one eye on the list and we have the other eye on the outcome. And sometimes this outcome can be a mirror of a previous outcome if we're not careful, if we're not paying attention. And halfway through the lunch yesterday, it occurred to me as a byproduct of what we were talking about and the laughter and the remember this, and I know you didn't like that. All of a sudden it hit me, and it was so huge. And at one point I'll talk about it. It was so huge, and it was so, oh. And so when Dew and I got on our pre-crazy weekend for him, well, for both of us, take the girls out for Halloween. already decorated the place, already cleaned up the place, so it's not scary to come, or it's not the wrong kind of scary to come. Get everything ready for the thing that's happening on Friday, on the thing that's happening on Saturday, the things that are happening on Sunday, and the drivings in between, and the making sure that everything at home, family's good, that we are keeping our eye on the larger prize. And so part of our conversation was, I was thinking about this, and the conversation that we had the other day, and you made your comment. Based on that comment, I was thinking about this other thing, and what do you think? All of these conversations that we give ourselves time to have, alone with ourselves, with a pen and a notebook, give us an opportunity to take it out of our head, out of our heart, put it on a page, hold the page there, and look at it and say, oh, well, I didn't see that before. Everywhere we go, there we are. There is not where I want to be. Let me make another note. We need to do those, excuse me, we need to do those self-diagnostics on a regular basis. That's the reason, that's the really big underlying reason for the later folder. And I know I haven't talked about it recently, but I want to talk about it again. It's not necessary to actually use one of my later folders. And by the way, we are going to have them available, though, you can order them. It is necessary, however, to make a note when you come to terms with the fact that you are carrying stuff with you. You're carrying stuff from what happened yesterday, this morning, noonish, and now it's the afternoon, and we've got the accumulated baggage of all that stuff. And everywhere we go, there they are. And you know what? They're heavy, and they're distracting, and they're clumsy and awkward, and they get in the way. And how can we clear our heads? How can we make great decisions? How can we be ready to see opportunity, to see an idea just kind of blossoming in the distance, if we're focused on, why do I always bring so much stuff? The later folder gives us the opportunity to take it out, write it down, and give the book a little pat. Later, I'll come back to you later, not now. Now I'm trying not to drive off a cliff. Kind of busy. So everywhere we go, why are we going? What's in it for us? Why does it matter? Who does it serve? Where are we going? What is it for? Why does it matter? Who does it serve? Simple question. Use the later folder. I'm off to see this. I'm off to do that. I've decided to go there. What's it for? Why does it matter? Who does it serve? It serves me. It serves my mental health. It serves my smile. I've decided to go and look at shoes. Alrighty then. Stop at the pastry place on the way home. Why not? Everywhere we go, there we are. We cannot escape it. I've got to get away. Well, you're taking you with you. So what do you got to get away from? You? Not going to happen. If you put on the clown suit and you're still in a bad mood, you are bad mood clown. If you put on a happy face character and you're still in a bad mood, you're bad mood happy face character. You get to give yourself a break. You get to put your bad mood in the later folder in order to give yourself the opportunity. Enjoy the moment, jumping in, being part of the craziness you decided to buy into. Gary was saying, I'm going to carve a pumpkin. This is the drawing. And I looked at the drawing and I said, okay, did you quit the course early on the drawing of pumpkins? Is there a way to talk to a tutor? And he said, stop it. I can't draw, clearly, but I can carve. Okay, what are you carving from? What is your point? What do you, I'm just going to hang on a second here, make that go away. And he said, you'll see, it's going to be amazing. And then he sent me a picture last night. It's awesome. I owe him an apology. Everywhere we go, there we are. Is that where we want to be? Is Waldo having a good time? He seems to be camouflaging himself quite well. Is that deliberate? What is he getting away from? What does he hope to find? Is he thinking that there's a better life on the other side? If he thinks the better life is going to change him, he's out of his mind. The one thing I want to leave us with today, because I know you're busy, I know you didn't get enough candy, or you did, but you ate most of it, and now you have to go out again. The one thing I want to leave you with today is we are all the things we need to be. Life doesn't change us. Life is there to show us who we are in those moments. Life is a bright light shining that we step into. How we behave when we're there, how we decide to cope or strategically retreat, how we see opportunity to just shift for a moment and push the open the door button for a man carrying far too much. How do we graciously thank them when they thank us? That's who we are. Everywhere we go, that's what we bring. I have a friend who keeps chasing off to the ocean, to the surf side, to the beach, to the lake. I said, why don't you move to the water side? I can't afford to live there. Well, if you look at all the time and energy and money you put into coming and going, you probably can. Oh, I can't, I've got too much invested here. Well, clearly not if you keep running away from it. If there is a place you want to be, if you're already there in your heart, that's what got me into this mess. Your profile looks a bit, oh, you know what? Let's, how do we get rid of you? How do we get rid of you? Hang on, whatever that is. Okay, we blocked you. All right, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay, we've now corrected. I hope we've corrected that. I will fix all those things later. When we have an opportunity, and here you see some person has decided to watch and spam and outreach to people, and they're doing it on my page, they're doing it on my live, and I'm saying, I'm sorry, that's not what this is for. You're leaving now. Everywhere you go, you're gone from here. We have permission to do that. And thank you, by the way, for this way to end this conversation with you, this wonderful episode with you. We have permission when we go where we thought we wanted to go and we don't like it, or we're not comfortable with the people we find there. We have permission to change our minds. We have our permission to say, no, thank you. I know I ordered it. I know I thought I was going to like it. Please take it back. I will order something else. I will pay for it if it's necessary, but I made a mistake. We are allowed to do that. Mistakes don't define us. Correcting them defines us. Being in places that do not fulfill us don't define us. What we do about it defines us. We get to choose. We get to choose us. We get to be everything we wish to be simply by putting down the extraneous bags. I will fix that as well. So I'm going to cut it off now because it looks like this is just rotating and I'm going to get rid of it. Thank you for joining me today on Halloween Day. Thank you for joining me on all of these. Thank you for being part of this amazing journey. You are my unforgettables. And when I tell you what that means, you're going to have a moment like this. It's awesome. So, busy weekend for many people, for all of us. Be safe. Be good to you. You deserve it. Hug your loved ones. Don't eat all the candy in one sitting. And I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.